Suggested title: How David Conquered His Giants, Timeless Lessons for Your Modern Challenges. Have you ever felt like you're fighting an invisible giant? Whether it's paralyzing anxiety, the fear of career failure, or the temptation to give up on a dream. What if there was ancient wisdom, a proven guide to face these obstacles? We are about to dive into the extraordinary life of King David, a man who, from a simple shepherd, became a legend. His journey is not just history. It is a practical manual of resilience and divine partnership, full of transformative lessons for you today. These biblical narratives offer a path. Understanding David's struggles can illuminate your own journey, helping you confront the giants in your life with timeless strategies. Throughout his battles, David developed what we call the divine method. This is not a magic formula, but profound principles that you can apply. This method is supported by 4 essential pillars. 1. Unwavering trust, a faith that does not waver in the face of the impossible. 2. Genuine dependence, recognizing that true strength comes from a higher source. 3. Resilience and integrity, standing firm in values, even under pressure. 4. Repentance and humility, the courage to acknowledge mistakes and seek restoration. These pillars, which we will explore, form the map for David to overcome any challenge. To understand the power of David's experiences, we must first glimpse the world he lived in. Imagine ancient Israel, a land of constant conflict where faith and survival were inseparable. David was not a born warrior, but a shepherd from Bethlehem. His world was harsh, demanding resilience and unwavering trust, shaping the foundations of his spiritual method. David understood his conflicts as spiritual warfare, recognizing invisible forces even in physical battles. This perspective is central to his unique approach. His victories often came from the union of practical strategy with deep spiritual discernment. Think of David's journey as building a solid house. The first lessons were the foundations, invisible yet crucial. Just as a small stream carves a canyon over time, his solitary encounters with God prepared him for greater challenges. His method was not a sudden revelation, but a cultivated practice. And the graphic Battle 1, Lion and Bear. Graphic, pillar in focus, unwavering trust. The divine method begins to manifest in his earliest, often overlooked battles. We see this when David, with courage, protects his flock from a lion and a bear. This was not merely physical strength, it was an act of faith, recognizing God's hand in protecting the vulnerable. Think about it. When facing the lion, David had no armor or sword. He relied on simple tools, his staff, his slingshot, and on the power of God. This encounter, predating Goliath, demonstrates a central aspect of his method: using what you have, coupled with an unwavering belief in divine assistance. It's a model for facing challenges that seem overwhelming. What is your lion today? A personal addiction? A difficult relationship? David teaches us to use the resources God has given us, however humble they may seem, trusting in his strength. It is crucial to understand, this method does not guarantee an easy victory. David did not flee from difficulty, but faced it, seeking a deeper dependence on the divine. Graphic, Battle 2, David and Goliath. Graphic, pillar in focus, unwavering trust. The defining moment arrives, David versus Goliath. This was not just a physical fight, but a spiritual battle for Israel's identity. Here, David's divine method is on full display. He rejects conventional warfare for a deeply personal, faith-fueled strategy. David's preparation did not take place in a war room, but in the sheep fields. His choice of 5 smooth stones and a sling was not arrogance, but a testimony to his trust in God. The method emphasizes using your unique, God-given abilities rather than conforming to others' expectations or equipment. Notice the contrast. Goliath's strength was in his armor and size, representing human power and intimidation. David's strength was in his humility and faith, manifesting divine power through a seemingly weak vessel. True victory often comes not from matching the opponent's strength, but from leveraging your own divinely empowered advantages. Graphic, Battle 3. Saul's persecution. Graphic, pillar in focus, resilience and integrity. Conquering Goliath brought David fame, but also new and treacherous spiritual battles, especially from King Saul. How did David navigate the insidious envy and relentless persecution from a king he served? After Goliath, David faced perhaps his longest spiritual battle, the incessant persecution from King Saul. Here, the divine method shifted from direct confrontation to enduring persecution with integrity. David repeatedly refused to harm Saul, despite multiple opportunities, demonstrating profound trust in God's timing and justice. This period highlights the method of patience and non-retaliation. David chose reverence for God's anointed over personal vengeance. This teaches us the power of responding to injustice with grace, allowing God to be your vindicator rather than succumbing to bitterness or anger. Graphic, Battle 4. The destruction of Ziklag. Graphic, pillar in focus, genuine dependence. Another crucial, often overlooked battle is the destruction of Ziklag. David and his men returned to find their city burned and their families captured. This was a battle against despair and the anger of his own men. His divine method here was to strengthen himself in the Lord his God, finding comfort and direction in prayer. It is essential to understand that even with deep faith, David was not immune to moments of doubt or discouragement. The divine method does not eliminate pain, but provides a path to process it spiritually. It recognizes that sometimes the greatest battles are internal, requiring you to actively seek God's presence amidst the chaos. Graphic, Battle 5. Bathsheba and Uriah. Graphic, pillar in focus, repentance and humility. Now let's face perhaps David's most challenging spiritual battle, his own moral failure with Bathsheba and Uriah. It was not a struggle with a physical enemy, but a deep internal battle against temptation, lust, and the abuse of power. Here, the divine method turns to sincere repentance and acceptance of the consequences. After his sin, David was confronted by the prophet Nathan. His response was not denial or defense, but humble confession. I have sinned against the Lord. This crucial moment highlights a vital aspect of the method, acknowledging your failures, taking responsibility, and turning to God even when exposed and ashamed. Everyone faces moral dilemmas and fails at times. David's divine method shows a path to spiritual restoration. True sorrow, seeking forgiveness, and accepting the painful but redemptive consequences of your actions, rebuilding your relationship with God. Be transparent with yourself. David's repentance did not erase the devastating impact of his actions on his family and kingdom. The divine method offers forgiveness and restoration with God, but does not promise freedom from earthly repercussions. It is a call to genuine humility, not a magic bullet to avoid life's difficulties. Graphic Battle 6, The Census. Graphic Pillar in Focus, Repentance and Humility. David's last significant spiritual battle involved his decision to take a census of Israel. Though seemingly harmless, this act stemmed from pride, a desire to boast in human strength rather than solely trusting in God's provision. We see a mature king still susceptible to subtle temptations, highlighting the need for continuous spiritual vigilance. God's displeasure with the census led to a devastating plague, driving David to immediate repentance and intercession. This event underscores another facet of the divine method. Even experienced leaders must remain humble, constantly checking their motives. True strength lies not in numbers, but in recognizing your dependence on the Most High. This battle teaches that spiritual warfare is not always against external giants. Sometimes it is against the insidious influence of ego and self-reliance within your own heart. David's response, choosing to fall into the hands of God rather than into the hands of man, reveals a profound understanding of divine mercy, even amidst severe judgment. Through these battles, David's divine method emerges as a pattern of faith, resilience, repentance, and humility. But how can you, in your daily life, apply these timeless principles to your own spiritual battles, transforming ancient wisdom into a living force in your modern existence? To apply David's divine method, start by identifying your current spiritual battles, be they internal struggles, external pressures, or moral challenges. Then, like David with the lion, approach them with what you have, trusting in God's empowerment. Cultivate the habit of strengthening yourself in the Lord through prayer and His Word daily. For a deeper exploration, consider reading the books of 1 and 2 Samuel and David's Psalms, which offer first-hand accounts and emotional reflections on his journey. These genuine resources provide unparalleled insight into his heart and his evolving relationship with God. Reputable biblical commentaries can also enrich your understanding. Be realistic. Adopting this divine method is not a guarantee of immediate or easy victories. Spiritual growth is a lifelong process, often marked by triumphs and setbacks. Expect to struggle, learn, and grow gradually. Transformation is progressive, yet profound, building resilience and deepening your dependence on God over time. What Goliath are you facing right now? Share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Your insights and experiences can encourage others on their spiritual journey. Let's build a community focused on applying ancient wisdom to the challenges of modern faith, learning together from David's enduring legacy. David's life, with its triumphs and failures, stands as a powerful testament to a divine method available to all. A life lived in humble dependence on God, facing battles with courage, and seeking repentance with sincerity. Embrace these principles, and you may discover a transformative path, enabling you to conquer your own giants.